Hey, welcome to Flashback Monday, where we talk about all the books in Romantic Time Book Review magazine. We're getting closer to the end. We end in 2016, and I thought that my pile of books for this would be bigger and bigger and bigger because we're getting more currenter. And I didn't realize that the number of books they are carrying is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I didn't realize this. Maybe they knew something. I have no idea. I don't remember. I know they did go digital for a couple of months thereafter, but I can't find any of the. I don't think I downloaded them. I don't think I saved them in any way. I didn't realize they would go disappear. They're not. I can't find them on the internet anywhere. So I know there was at least 2 or 3 issues of digital before they disappeared completely. But anyways, we always do 4-star, 4.5-star books. We always start with Regency. We've got an extra special ebook today, so please stay tuned to the end. And this is the D. Louise book series, and I am Christina, KRSTNA. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And we start with Regency. Lorraine Heath, the Lady in Red, the Duke, and the Lady in Red. 4.5 stars. And look at that. Good God. Naked lady on the cover. That's rare. That's rare. It's usually a naked guy on the cover. We get naked lady on the cover. 4.5 stars, Victorian England. The Duke of Avondale meets his match in a beautiful con artist in a love story only Heath could create. There's magic in this story, the magic of love, but also of compassion, devotion, and family. Rosalind Sharp is a beautiful swindler whose arrival at the newest club is timed to attract her latest mark, the Duke of Avondale. With what she can gain from him, she can pay off her creditors and put her swindling days behind her. Avondale immediately takes notice of the woman in red and sets his sights on her. When he discovers her running off with his money, he surprises her with a proposition. She can have all the money she needs in exchange for a week in his bed and a ring on her finger. You know it. The exploits, the daring exploits of a runaway heiress. 4.5 stars. Alexander is an original, and so are her romances. Using the premise of a bucket list, she creates a most delightful romance that filled with joys and laughter. Lucy Merriweather, an American heiress, is free as a bird with her family in New York and her friends on the continent. What can a single girl do? Why, fulfill every regret on her deceased grand aunt's wish list, of course. There's just one problem. The detective hired to watch her, Cameron Effington, is a newspaper reporter, not the investigator Lucy believes him to be. He is attempting to write a book when he meets Miss Merriweather. Lucy's mad game scheme is the stuff of popular serial fiction, and he's pulled into her journey. He falls in love. Together they solve the mystery. The harlot, the harlot, the harlot countess. Sorry, my drip is bad today. The one in purple. I always like purple. I just had it. Oh, Joanna Shoup, 4.5 stars. With her knowledge of the modes and morals of the Regency era, Shoup delivers a well-crafted novel in this second installment of her Wicked Deception series. Steady pacing, delightful characters, and an ability to build steamy sexual tension. Simon Barrett, Earl of Winchester, is determined to find the artist known as Lamarck, whose cartoons depict Simon as Lord Wine Jester. As a member of Parliament, Simon has no desire to have his good name sullied. It's been 10 years since Simon last saw Lady Margaret, then a shy young woman he wanted to marry. Maggie was madly in love with him until scandal reared its ugly head and Simon turned away. Now Maggie has grown into a beautiful independent woman and an artist. When Simon calls upon her for help finding Lamarck, she is taken back but offers to help, giving him false leads. As they search for Lamarck, neither is prepared for the desire that springs up between them. Aww. The Scoundrel and the Debutante. The Scoundrel and the Debutante. There you go. 4 stars. This Cobbett sister story is a sprightly, delightful romance jam-packed with adventures and misadventure galore. Readers will be charmed by the practical heroine who thrives on adventure and the American hero who gives her everything she desires. The scandal created by her sisters leaves Prudence unsuitable for marriage, so she has nothing to lose. Setting out on an adventure, Rowan Matheson is in England to find his runaway sister and bring her home before she causes scandal. He knows little about England and the strict rules of behavior, and he needs Prudence's help to navigate across the country. The journey takes them up and down the countryside before they get a lead on the girl's location. And I'm sure while traveling back and forth, they fall in love. Right? No. I just thought I'd show this. Full page! She got the book. But I got a full page. So I couldn't waste the full page to show. He got overalls on. He's got overalls. Or a kilt and something else. Oh. Sorry. I did not realize. Victoria Roberts, Kilts and Daggers, 1610 Scotland. Readers, 4 stars. Readers continue to craft fast-moving, well-written plots populated by real-life characters, keeping readers in the story from beginning to satisfying conclusion. Having discovered that her sister and uncle are spies for the crown, Grace toys with the idea of joining them. She craves the adventure. Instead, she must return to London, escorted by Fagin Murray, a man she finds as undesirable as the Highlands themselves. When their party is attacked, Grace is taken captive. After Fagin's rescue plan goes away, they are both captured and thrown in the same cell. While awaiting their captors' return, Grace and Fagin, their disdain turns to love. Aww. Blame him for the plan gone bad. And for those historical peeps out there, let me just pull this up here. The House of Hawthorne. Historical fiction. 4 stars. Erica Roebuck. Finding and giving voice to extraordinary women in the literary world is where Roebuck's talents lie. She draws readers into the souls of her characters. Now she's chosen Nathaniel Hawthorne's wife, a talented artist whose life and longings will resonate with readers. It's also a portrait of a complicated man and a turbulent era. Crippling headaches forced Sophie Peabody to believe her art was the only love she could have, until she meets Nathaniel Hawthorne. She and Nathaniel become one another's muses and soulmates and travel the globe together. Their life was nomadic, yet they were content. But though Sophie adored her husband and children, there was too many times when she sacrificed her own desires for theirs, her own talent for theirs, and frustrations caused tensions within their marriage. See what happens there. And there's one more. Valerie Bowman. The lady. The unlikely lady. The unlikely lady. Oh man, I had that. I had it. Alright. Naked guy and girl on the cover. 4 stars. Bowman has a talent for merging emotion with humor, much to the delight of readers. She brings together characters who have no desire to marry, yet learn life and love, have other plans for them, with a bit of mayhem, meddling friends, and plenty of passion. Bookish Jane Lodez contrives a shame to attend a party without a chaperone. She simply invents a woman who will satisfy her mother's demands. Lord Garrett Upton is determined to savor his days of freedom. He's had enough of war and wants to enjoy his leisure. A house party wedding is just what he needs, even though he knows he'll have to put up with his old friend. Jane scorn. However, an unexpected kiss leads to few surprises. Garrett carries an old secret that places his desire for Jane in jeopardy, but she's not one to flee when the going gets tough, and their friendship leads to romance. Aww. Let's see. All right. Let's move on to mainstream fiction. The Sound of Glass, 4.5 stars. White entertains while she educates in her fantastic new page-turning genre bender. Her sensitive, precise, and powerfully narrative is an intricate weaving of rich, unforgettable story of Tennessee Williams-esque characters, and breathes life into her low country settings. No sooner than Merritt Hayward lays claim to her late husband's crumbling ancestral home, her solitude is broken by unwanted visits from her husband's brother and deceased father's new family. Laura Lee Connors is under pressure to acquaint her soon-to-be orphan son with his sister. Excuse me 1 minute. Come here. You're climbing all over me. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. We have a visitor. We have a break-in. I know. She can't go on her sister's perch. Her sister would kill her. And she doesn't want to go on her sister's perch. So Lorelei Connor is under pressure to acquaint her soon-to-be orphan son with his sister. Happening this last risky plan works. After his grandmother's passing, Gibbs learns his estranged brother also died when his prickly northern sister-in-law inherits their childhood home. Personalities and cultures collide amongst the sea glass and family secrets. Say hi. Oh, you were bugging my butt. You gonna hang around? What? Um, A God in Ruins. Kate Atkinson. 4.5 stars. A top pick. Atkinson's masterful follow-up to her epic Life After Life is honestly breathtaking. It's difficult to put into words how amazing she creates her characters after character, even someone we just meet once, and fills them with such life. An incredibly satisfying aspect of her latest is that we find out the fate of characters from the first book. You'll weep and cheer as Teddy finds his way, then weep anew at this further painful look at the destruction of World War II. Prepare to feel bereft once it's over as we wait for Atkinson to write another masterpiece. Teddy was the golden boy of the Todd family, beloved and favored by his mother most of all. Only what happens when the war ends and real life resumes? How can Teddy return loving Nancy and doing such mundane tasks as finding a job? After all he's done. Career in the military? Mental health? A shrink? PTSD is real. Uh, Oops. And this lady, we have seen. Why didn't I say it was on this page and it's not? It's not. Oh, there it is. This lady is so popular. Her books are always on the shelves. Perfect Match. Fern Michaels, 4 stars. A standalone that has romance, laughter, and characters who are willing to go to that extra mile for people when they need to. Beth Masters knows she is a terrible singer, but that's what singing coaches are for. Before running off to Nashville, she gifted her business to her twin brother Jake to make his life more worth living. He has been a hermit since his back injury ended his dream of playing at the Super Bowl. Hoping Grace and Jake realize they are perfect match for each other and live happily ever after. We'll see. ABC. I can't sing either. Can't sing a note. Can't sing a note. All right, on to inspirational. Robin Hatcher. Whenever you come around. Four and a half stars. Hatcher hits the reader's Achilles heel right in the gut with her plot twist, showing us God's ability to offer grace and forgiveness. But readers will be able to make transition in the relationship smoothly as another hero and his love interest dance into their hearts. You will be sharing this book with your friends. After a decade away, Charity Anderson reconnects with family and friends in the Idaho community of Kings Meadow. Much of the pain that flashes back has kept her distant. Is that what she needs to surrender? This hurt is most intimate secret and keeps her from allowing others to love her. Will the friendship she rekindles with Buck Malone be enough to help her trust others? See what happens. As Waters Gone By, Cynthia Rucci right here. I don't know how. One of these days we got to figure out the lighting on this camera. It's a miracle we got the sound to work. If you were with me last year, we know we went through 2 months of it was bad. As Waters Gone By, Cynthia Rucci, Ruchti, 4.5 stars. Rucci's latest is an emotionally wrenching yet ultimately redemptive tale. The exquisite characterization and gorgeous imagery as Waters Gone By will stay with readers long after the last pages turn. Spiritual themes woven through the story help the characters come to life and make them easy to identify with their latest struggles and triumphs. Emmeline Ross feels she must escape the emptiness. Her husband, Max, is in prison and has asked her not to see him again. After years of struggles with infertility, Emily is at rock bottom. She travels to their cabin on a remote island to Lake Superior to pick up the pieces. Yet she finds that the cabin needs almost as much work as her own soul. As she befriends some of the residents, Emily begins to learn the true meaning of family. And the one in the middle, Water of My Heart, Charles Martin, a top pick, 4.5 stars. Martin pens an amazing, meaningful, and deep novel about the dilemma everyone goes through about the indifference versus true faith. The author's gift for turning a phrase in multi-dimensional characters are beyond superlative. Charlie Finn is a drug trafficker with an Ivy League education. He doesn't let many people into his life, but he is close with Colin, Marguerite, and their children. When a horrific event occurs, Charlie heads to Niagara in search of redemption. Charlie is shocked when his past aligns with his present, and he must do what it takes to make things right. The Huntress of Thornbeck, another historical, 4.5 stars. Readers will find themselves supporting the romance between the sweet yet determined Odette and the insecure but hard-working Jorgen from the beginning. Dickerson spins a retelling of Robin Hood with emotional, compelling characters offering hope that love may indeed conquer all. Odette is the most sought-after maiden in Thornbeck, but her heart belongs to the town's neglected orphans. A devout student of Scripture, she struggles with her conscience as she spends her nights procuring deer for the wealthy Margrave forest to feed them. Jorgen, the Margrave's forester, is determined to find the poacher, who he believes killed his father years ago. And I want to know, and I ask this every single time this author comes up, and I did not realize how loud the paper turning was. But I want to know, does that look like an inspirational? It looks like a suspenseful thriller to me. No Place to Hide, 4 stars. Third book in Eason's Hidden Identity series starts off with action and doesn't let up until the end. Fast-paced, intriguing, the romance between Jackie and Ian develops. Jackie Sellers has never forgotten her first love, Ian Lockwood. Now he has been accused of terrorism, and she is determined to find out the truth behind the story. From the moment they meet again, they are plunged into a cat-and-mouse chase with both law enforcement and those looking to take Ian and his connections out for good. Lots of prayer. Oh, I forgot. You know, anybody that says my magazine isn't current, excuse me, this series is as hot today as it was here. I'm telling you. A Court of Thorns and Roses, 4.5 stars, and a top pick. Vicious and intoxicating, this is a sumptuous start to May's new series with her signature style. The author weaves traces of familiar fairy tales with her own blend of magic to create a dazzling world, complex characters, and sizzling romance. After killing a wolf in the woods, 19-year-old Frey is forced to reside in the fairy world as punishment, but her captor, a powerful and immortal named Tomlin, isn't all he appears to be, and despite the many dangers and secrets of his world, she can't help but fall for him. When a deadly force begins affecting the fairylands, Frey must find a way to stop it and save Tomlin and the family. Prevalent today. These books are still on the bookshelves today. You can still get it. It's still in hot desire. I'm telling you, those books are hot. This magazine is still relevant today. These books still exist. You can still get them. And some of them are still in hot desire. There's still waiting lists at the libraries. I'm telling you. Let's see. Oh, another lady who is very, very popular. People come in every week looking for her. Miss Hoover. Confess, 4 stars. Fans of Poe's Secret will love the confessional element in Hoover's latest novel. They are a few passages that feel choppy until all the character secrets come out, but the raw emotion and incredible twists more than make up for it. Auburn's lost everything and everyone she's ever loved. Now she's back in Dallas trying to reclaim the broken pieces of her life. She wanders into Owen Gauntry's art studio looking for a job. She doesn't expect to build chemistry with the charming, secretive artist. Owen is shocked that destiny brought Auburn to him and is determined to learn more about the mystery girl he's been curious about for years. Let's see what happens. On to sci-fi. Uprooted. 4.5 stars. Top pick. The settling characters and plotting are all extremely well done here, but special credit to Novick for creating 2 of the most gripping and frequently terrifying set pieces I've read in a fantasy novel in a long time. Wood is a convincingly scary, smart, and ruthless opponent, and the violence, both human and magical, is depicted in convincing, sometimes painful ways. Angie never expected the dragon, the wizard who rules her town and protects it from the monstrous and hungry wood nearby, to choose her for 10 years of servitude. But she also didn't expect to be a witch or the wood to claim her best friend or to work with the dragon to find a way to staunch the corrupt spread of the wood. Okay. My favorite topic of all time, mystery. I forgot to look for this one. Some Like It Witchy. We've done a couple of Heather Blake's books on this series, on this channel. Remember, I have 2,000 videos out there. 2,000. We did all of Janet. We did all of J.D. Robb. We did all of Alex Cross. We did all of Women's Murder Club. We did all of Laurel Up Yonder. We've done a lot. We've done Patricia Briggs. We've done all of her. We've done quite a few series. Please check out all those videos. There's 2,000. If one person checks out each one of those videos and hits a like or a subscribe, I could get 2,000 subscribers like that. Bing! Not going to happen, of course, but it would be nice. So we're Some Like It Witchy. Heather Blake, 4.5 stars. Blake pens an intriguing tale of magic and mystery. Darcy Merriweather and her cast of magical friends are back to solve another mystery in Enchanted Village. A current murder crosses with a legendary heist that took place years ago. Darcy and her friends, including her hunky sheriff boyfriend Nick, will band together to try to piece together the clues that lead to the culprit. Witchcrafter Darcy Merriweather and the whole Enchanted Village are on pins and needles to see who will win the bid on the Tavistock house. The house, owned by the late recluse Elvita Tavistock and had ties to a legendary diamond heist that took place in the 70s. The diamonds were never recovered, and the town has had its fair share of looking in the house to find them. When Darcy and her wish client friend Charisse Goodwin go to the house for a walk, though, they stumble across the body of dead real estate agent Raina Gallagher, dead in the closet. And the hunt begins for her murderer. And we've also done this, lady. I learned sign language because I'm a teacher, but I was doing sign language last year because one of the characters in my series was a deaf little boy, and everybody in the book was learning sign language for the deaf little boy. I've done all 25, 26 books, and I did an extra video for Mrs. Ellsworth because I love Mrs. Ellsworth. You'll have to check that out. And I did a video frustrating video because I was anxiously awaiting the next book in the series. And Miss Thompson has died. And it just breaks my heart. But if you haven't read this series, it's a really good series. 4.5 stars. It's a top pick. This is book 17. Murder on Amsterdam Avenue, 4.5 stars. This long-lasting series, Gaslight Mystery Series, has lost none of its interest or its attraction. Set in the 19th century New York, best-selling author Thompson has always vividly shown the life of the rich and the very poor of the city. Now she introduces the condition of the blacks who came north after the Civil War. The characters vividly bring the era to life. Her main characters have all grown and changed. Irish Detective Sergeant Frank Malloy finds his unexpected riches have driven him from the police department. He is somewhat uncomfortable becoming more part of the higher society that made up Sarah's family background. Interesting history, vivid and emotional true characters, an intricate story make another fascinating addition to the series. Sarah and Frank are preparing for their wedding and adjusting to their new lives in society. Sarah goes with her mother to pay a condolence call when Charles Fairfax, a son of family friend, has unexpectedly died. But to their surprise, his father thinks he was poisoned and he wants Frank and Sarah to investigate. The family has many secrets. Charles' mother came from the South during the Civil War and was never accepted by her husband's family. The servants are largely black and have their own lives, which the family has no sense of. I love Mrs. Ellsworth. I love Sarah and Frank. She was a midwife. Frank was a detective, and they solved murder cases. And they picked up the two girls along the way, and Catherine along the way. And she mended fences with her parents. And it's such an awesome series. I really, 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 really like it. I would say J.D. Robb is my number one all-time series. Catherine Coulter, Victoria Thompson, pain in the ass up there. Who's coming out with a new Mary book? So look for Mary by Christmas. And it's just awesome. Um, where is my sheet? Uh, uh, I finally knit murder. I believe we saw this woman in cozy knitting for Mother's Day, I think it was. So if you're looking for cozy knitting books, go check out that video. There's 80 if then videos out there. If anybody has an idea for an if then video, please let me know. I've done every conceivable homicides, forensics, Scotland Yard, vampires, werewolf, witches, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas cozies, food cozies, knitting cozies, gardening cozies, um, Valentine's, a whole bunch. There's 80 plus if thens out there. I'm looking for ideas. I did a video asking for ideas. I got one response. It was a good one, but I got one. 300 views with one suggestion. Where were we now? In the ninth of this warm, cozy series, Goldenbaum once again shows her complete mystery of the combination of good friends, food, and romance, and a puzzling murder that makes up a cozy. Let me just, might have, with my talk in there, the yellow. School has started in Sea Harbor, and Dr. Elizabeth Hawley is now the headmistress of the Sea Harbor Community Day School. Once catering to the children of the elite New England, families have now having to adjust to modern times and budgets. She has invited the Seaside Knitters to be part of the new progressive enchantment, but the direction the school has taken doesn't please everyone. Board members and benefactor Blythe Westerlin attend the school, which her family founded. She considers it hers and doesn't like the changes she sees and the headmasters bringing them. That might be a good one. See what happens there. Another lady that has been around for a while now and has a true set of followers that we may end up doing this series on this channel. I'm gathering the books. I'm slowly gathering the books. It may take me a year. Your Next Breath. This 4.5 stars. It's a top pick. This insanely intense thriller from the always amazing Johansson is mainly a CIA operative Catherine Ling tale, but due to the subject matter, the core characters from the Eve Duncan series are prominently featured, delivering gut-wrenching emotion and spine-tingling suspense in what Johansson does best. 3 murders from around the globe all have one thing in common. The victim once helped Catherine Ling. It doesn't take Catherine or her friend mentor Hugh Chung long to realize that a dangerous old enemy plans to torture Catherine by killing all those she cares about. Having been a loner most of her life, Catherine is somewhat surprised to discover how many people matter to her, and at the top of the list is her newly recovered teen son Luke. The powerful foe has tentacles all over the world, which means it's a race against time to warn and protect those Catherine cares about and track down the killer. I just had it. I just had it. Oh, here it is. I just was talking about this. We have done this series. We just did a new one the other day. 25 Alive, I think was the thing. James Patterson and Maxine Petro, 4.5 stars. Patterson and Petro do it again with the latest chapter in the Women's Murder Club series. We have Lindsay is the detective, and Cindy is the reporter, and Claire is the coroner, and Yoki is the lawyer, and she does the courtroom stuff. Things seem to be going well for the ladies of the Women's Murder Club until medical examiner Claire Washburn's birthday celebration is interrupted with the news of the gruesome murder of a woman in broad daylight. As Detective Lindsay Boxer begins to investigate this crime and several others of a similar nature, which all took place on Claire's birthday, unsettling new video footage surfaced showing a group of men allegedly posing as San Francisco cops doing horrible things. Carolyn Hart, Don't Go Home. 4.5 stars. The fun and suspense continues in this long-running and exceptionally good series. Hart creates an excellent puzzle with plenty of suspects and possible motives to keep readers guessing. With Max away fishing, Annie takes the lead in solving the murder. This puts Annie in harm's way, but with her usual warmth and candor, she's able to move easily among the residents, uncovering their darkest secrets. Southern writer Alex Griffiths is still riding the wave of success from his first best-selling novel, Don't Go Home. The novel is based on a certain resident of Broward's Rock and their scandalous secrets. Now Alex is hoping to write another non-fiction bestseller revealing the identities of his characters. Rock to drum up some hype for the new book, and they want Annie's help hosting an event. Annie wants no part in the author's plan to ruin lives, but even before Annie can spill his secret, someone silences the mean-spirited author for good. Oops. If you need a cozy, I've said this a couple of times in other videos. If you need a book for a holiday, this author and Leslie Muir are the two authors you go to. And you probably just saw this book a couple of months ago. Because I know I use this lady's books in my videos. A Catered Mother's Day. Iris Crawford, 4 stars. The latest catered mystery keeps things lively and entertaining with plenty of clues. The action builds nicely as the sisters interrogate and suspect and uncover secret relationships, bad business deals, jealous husbands, and 3 sad sons combine this cleverly plotted mystery, a real whodunit until the very end. As Mother Day approaches, Bernie's friend Ellen Hadley feels unappreciated by her husband and 3 sons. Bernie jokingly suggests she plans her own kidnapping, and Ellen takes her seriously. But a bad idea turns worse when Ellen calls Bernie and Libby to meet her at the Riverview. When the sisters arrive, they find a man dead in Ellie's room. Ellie swears she doesn't know the man, but Libby and Bernie aren't so sure she's telling the truth. You want your friends to help you. You best tell your friends the truth. Yeah. I've got an interesting book for you at the end of this video if you're still here. It's a little embarrassing to show though. But we're gonna do it anyway, I guess. Be Afraid, Mary Burton. 4 stars. Burton creates deeply vulnerable, complex characters with hard edges and sets them within an intricate, well-written mystery. Her crisp storytelling engages, and the deeply emotional connection and tension she creates between Rick and Jenna will hook readers. After finding the skeletal remains of a little girl who killed years earlier, Detective Rick Morgan knocks on Jenna Thompson's door. He needs her skills as a forensic artist to help figure out the girl's identity. Rick's investigation resonates with Jenna, who was kidnapped as a girl and whose family was murdered. As she helps Rick, Jenna explores her own tragic past, abduction, and forms an attraction and connection to Rick. As secrets are revealed, the situation becomes more intense for others. Um, Twisted, Cynthia Eden. All right, it's not. All right, the one in the middle right there. Twisted. You know, when I think of Cynthia Eden books, I think of e-books because that's what I knew her as an e-writer. 4 stars. The Lost series finds sure footing with the second installment, bringing together another of Eden's infallible alpha heroes with a resolute, remarking, cunning heroine who isn't afraid to challenge him or the ruthless enemy who dogs their every step. Dean Bannon is in New Orleans on a mission from the last optic search team to find missing 16-year-old. But the more he searches, the more it seems that he is facing a far darker, more twisted case than he ever imagined. Emma Castile may not be psychic, but her perception and intuition have never steered her wrong before, and when Dean tells her that one of her young clients has gone missing, Emma knows she's the only person who can help him find the truth. Um, Her wild hero, Paige Tyler. Naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. Be careful what you wish for is the latest overriding message from the DCO field operative. As the number of hybrid increases, the danger to the general population intenses. A new source for their existence is implied but not fully exposed. This open-ended question may frustrate readers because it comes from out of the blue, but the action nonstop and top-notch, and Kendra more than holds her own, but Declan finds the depth of his abilities when he realizes the danger Kendra faces without him. Running the DCO's home operations is not enough for Kendra. She wants to be in the field and finally convinces her boss, John, to let her utilize her training partner with Declan. They wind up in the middle of an ambush by more hybrids than they knew existed. Behavior differences lead to the conclusion that these are different from the ones they encountered in Washington. Separated from the rest of their team, Kendra and Declan fight for survival and rekindle their sexual tension. Always. Contemporary romance. I don't even think. Alright. Oh, no, I didn't even. I had this on my list to look for, and I did not. So, um, ah, so let's do this one. Susan Mallory, Hold Me. 4.5 stars. In her newest Fool's Gold novel, Mallory gives readers a heroine who, as a result of emotional battles during her childhood, has essentially sworn off men and relationships, combined with a hero who must reluctantly chart a new career, and you get an unlikely match. The warmth and humor found in Mallory's charming tales makes her books definite mood elevators. Following his career-ending crash, Olympic skiing star Kipling Gilmore has relocated to Fool's Gold to be near his former abused sister. Still finding his new path, Kipling has agreed to help with the new mountain search and rescue program the town is developing. Destiny Mills travels the country helping install the town with storms, her company's innovative search and rescue software. As the oldest daughter of two country western legends who begin between them have been married in the double digits, Destiny wants nothing to do with the emotional roller coaster of love. However, when a teenage half sister unexpectedly needs a place to stay, Destiny steps up on the road, and not getting involved in emotional entanglements have been key rules. See what happens. Um, I was gonna look for this one. Oh, you know, these things would have. All right. Uh, let's see. Sorry. I keep forgetting. Wild Heat. Lucy Monroe. 4 stars. Monroe demonstrates her solid craftsmanship in the series opener set in small town southern Alaska. While there is nothing new in the story, it has all the elements that we look for in a contemporary, well developed setting, believable plot, and three-dimensional characters. Kitty Grant fled Alaska to live in the bigger world of Los Angeles. But after surviving an abusive ex husband, she seeks a healing refuge in her small hometown. She does not have high expectations for a warm welcome, especially not from her ex best friend, Tack McKinnon. But Conklin is home, however, she is not prepared for the total hunk that Tack has grown to be. Keeping her emotional distance might not be so easy. Tack is devastated by the pain in Kitty's eyes, and while he still remembers all too well how she shattered his heart, he can't resist the urge to protect her. Aww. Crazy for the cowboy. Naked man on the cover. Naked man on the cover. 4 stars. Thompson's new series is smart, sassy, and sexy. Vince Durant used to be a rowdy cowboy out for fun, but now he's back in his hometown of Bickford, Texas, and he's not the womanizer he used to be. Convincing Georgiana of that isn't going to be easy, though, especially since Vince has returned to capture Ghost, a wild stallion who roams the hills, an idea that Georgie finds repugnant. But when Vince has a plan to restore the small town to former glory, she starts to wonder if he has really changed. And is it? No, let me just check the other section. Trying to figure out why I have this book out. No. So why did I have this book out? Unless it's here. I should have left that paper. Oh well. Child. Okay. I don't know why I had that book out. It's not listed here. And I'm pretty sure it's not in paranormal. Oh well. We'll see what happens. Okay. Oh! I forgot a sci-fi. Let's just go back for a minute. And it looks. You know, There are no special effects, no editing here. Oh, you know what? I bet it's in sci-fi. Paranormal. Sorry. Sorry. Please don't log off. Please continue to stay. I've got this really interesting um book that's going to embarrass the life out of me. All right. I think we are finished with uh romance. And we are on to paranormal. Alright. We've got our um three books right here. Grave Phantoms. Grave Phantoms. And the Harrison Midnight's Kiss. And the Gilded Scarab. Let's see. Grey Phantoms, 4.5 stars. Top pick. Emerging star Bennett gives lucky readers the wonderful third installment of her outstanding Roaring '20s series. Fans of this series have been greatly anticipating exploration of the budding romance between college student Astrid and Beau. On a break from college, Astrid returns home to San Francisco to visit her family and find out why her longtime pal, Beau, has stopped communicating with her. Astrid is down on the docks to confront Beau when a mysterious yacht crashes into the Magnus Pier. 6 white-robed and confused people exit the yacht, but the kicker is that the boat and these people have been missing for a year. When Astrid finds a turquoise figure on the floor, she experiences a jolt and suddenly has a vision of a strange ceremony taking place on the yacht. Beau is frantic at Astrid's collapse, for although he knows their love is forbidden, he can't help but ache for her. Alright. Midnight Kiss. Vampire World is once again at the center of Harris's latest fabulous release. 4.5 stars. Events pick up where the previous book left off. Knight's Honor. Left off as ancient vampire Justine attempts at a coup against Julian. The Night King, treachery and betrayal, both old and new, place Julian and Melly, the daughter of Tatiana, the Light Fae Queen, in a desperation fight for their lives. Julian is on the warpath against Justine for her failed attempt to assassinate Xavier. Julian's right-hand man, things go bad from worse when Julian learns Justine has disappeared after slaughtering her entire household of humans and vampires. Justine may have miscalculated a bit, but she still has a plan. She kidnaps Melly as a bargaining chip. Julian and Melly's affair may have ended badly decades ago, but Tatiana calls requesting help because Melly has vanished. See what happens. The Golden Scarab, Anna Butler. Butler's newest book is a Marvel creative history that perfectly captures the spirit of exploration and the rare doings that are heart of the best Victorian adventure, and delights in the steampunk devices. I think we talked about this for my special M&M video in September. Captain Rafe Lancaster has had to completely reinvent himself following a devastating aero crash during the Second Boer War, which left him permanently scarred. Returning to London with no prospects and no friends, he decides to buy a coffee house near the British Museum, a place where he can find himself and keep his thumb on the pulse of London politics. There you go. There's the 3. Alright, now, if you haven't checked out all my videos on this series, please check out all my videos on this series. And all my shorts. I've been doing a whole bunch of shorts on this to promote it. And if you didn't know already, there's this new channel. It's called Passion Flicks. And they've got this new show, this new vampire show. The Black Dagger Brotherhood. They started with Dark Lover. I've done the reviews for all of these books. I've read them and talked about them just recently, so they're out there. This is 4.5 stars. This is the 13th book in her extraordinary Black Dagger Brotherhood adventure. The incomparable Ward turns the focus on fugitive shadow brothers Trez and I Am. By now, readers know that when you jump into a Ward novel, there will be passion, treachery, and action. For 2 decades, Trez and I Am have been living on borrowed time, waiting for the Queen of Shadows to hunt them down and force Trez back to his destined fate as the Anointed One. Because of their relationship with revenge, Trez and I Am have only recently joined forces with the Brotherhood. Both the evil Lessers and the traitor's band of bastards are now causing trouble, but it is the new threat from the shadows that is most concerning as Trez falls for one of the chosen, Serena. And a little spoiler here, Trez was manipulated. Someone manipulated so it would be him and not his brother when it should have been his brother. That's a little twisty twist at the end. Another lady who we have talked about often. She occupies about 4 shelves here. And we have the Carpathians, we have the games, we have the leopards, we have the ghosts. We have all these series. I did most of them a while ago. You can check that out. I have gained about 20 books since that video, so I might do another one. Cat's Lair, Christine Feehan, 4 stars. A criminal kingpin, a young woman on the run, and the tough martial arts instructor determined to protect her are already a dangerous combo. But when you add in the primal urges and hot blood of leopard instincts, you get one really combustible mix. When she was 11 years old, Katrina Benoit's mother handed her over to leopard shifter and criminal kingpin Rafe. Not allowed to attend school or have a tutor, Katrina was forced to educate herself in secret. She was finally able to escape Rafe's clutches, but she knows he's still on the hunt. Settled in her new life in Texas, Kat meets Ridley Cromer, the new guy at the dojo, where Kat's currently learning self-defense. Ridley's also a regular at Poetry Slam, the bookstore coffee shop, where Kat picks up work as a barista. The two begin to build a relationship, but as Kat enters the hot Von Den, it's harder for her to control the leopard lurking inside her. Ridley struggles with his own feelings for Kat and his deep urges to protect her. See what happens there. It's got a full page spread. Alright, another lady who we've talked about over yonder. And is this the... Alright, this is the second book. Okay. The first book, uh, alright. This is a 3-book series. And, this was the first one. And we're going to talk about the second one today. And this is the third one. And it was also a short-lived season. I think maybe but 2 years on NBC a couple years ago. I'm a quick reader. I'm a very quick reader. At some point, at some days, depending on the series, depending if I'm involved in it, I can read 2 to 3 books a day. Usually, average 3 to 4 a week. That's my slowness. If I pick out about, especially one of the FBI's, I'll give it 2 days to do, 2 days at night. But This one. This took me a year. Hand to God, a year. If you've read a Regency and you've done the Regencies, they do the hero like with the Sinsters. They'll go out to the park and they'll take the carriage ride through the park, or they'll do a stroll through the park, and they'll do the meet and greet. You meet all the characters. You'll meet family members and stuff. Oh, that's Mama, and that's her friend, and this is Mrs. Joe, and blah, 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 blah. The meet and greet in this took the first 11 chapters. It took me a year. It was just, once I got past chapter 11, I finished the book in 30 minutes. It took me that long to get to the meet and greet of introducing all the characters. It just drove me crazy. The second and third books were much better because it went quicker. But it was just, it's just. So let's see what, and I've asked, she's doing this cowboy series. I have a couple of them. I asked her if she would ever do Sookie Stackhouse again, and she said no. Sookie is done. So, I don't like her Gunny Rose series. I just don't. I just won't buy it. So, you won't see I have a couple of them here, but I won't. If it comes by, we'll see what happens, but unless she writes a Sookie book, I'm not biting. Day Shift, Charlene Harris. Superstar Harris is back with the second installment of her fresh new series that explores the mysteries of Midnight Texas. And she used a couple of characters from Sookie. Manfred Bernardo is a psychic, starting to fit into the new life in Midnight Texas pretty well. Everyone has secrets, and no one is exactly what they appear to be. However, a couple of events are about to create a problematic set of circumstances for everyone. While doing a special session for a favorite client in Dallas, Manfred is disconcerted when Rachel Goldthorpe dies while in contact with the spirit of her deceased husband. Unfortunately, Rachel's obnoxious son Louis claims that Manfred both murdered Rachel and stole some of her money, her jewelry, which is not good for any of the town's secretive residents as they come under scrutiny. We'll see what happens there. But, yeah, it wasn't for me. This lady, too. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it with my Casey Daniels. And I just did it, I just did one the other day. And I'm still trying to decide if I should read it. Tanya Caps. That's it, Tanya Caps. I've got one of them over there. I'm trying to decide if I should do more of that. This book started out good as solving murder mysteries, talking with the dead, and like the Casey Daniels books. And the author takes a left turn and goes off in the stratosphere with the devil and all this, and she takes that left turn. She leaves the detectiving, and she's so wrapped up in the Reyes that it just 4.5 stars. This is a top pick. Grim Reaper Charlie Devison's offbeat view of life and her ability to roll with the punches are about to be tested. Readers, too, may let out a gasp as Crafty Jones shakes up things in a both diabolical way. A very pregnant Charlie is going stir-crazy as she and her new husband, Reyes, are essentially trapped at an abandoned convent. Outside the sacred grounds, there are 12 hellhounds waiting for the opportunity to rip them apart and their unborn baby, Beep, to shreds. She named her baby Beep, by the way. Thankfully, Charlie gets 2 distinctions. The first is the wedding of her best friend Cookie to Charlie's Uncle Bob, and the second is a decades-old unsolved murder of a young nun. But this thing with Reyes, This thing with the demon dogs, it takes a left turn, and it's out the. All right, and my other book. This is a good series. I did a whole reading order thing a couple of months ago, so you might want to check that out. Alien Separation. 4.5 stars. Just when you think Koch can't make things any weirder for her unflappable protagonist, she launches the proceedings into a whole new solar system. Kitty Cat Martini has barely returned from her achievements in Bizarro World when a new crisis erupts. During her trip to that alternate reality, Kitty learned that her evil nemesis is, and sadly, is someone they trust. Before they can deal with that issue, a large chunk of the gang is snatched out of the thin air and transported to an extremely weird and colorful planet. But in a scary twist, the gang doesn't arrive together. Kitty, Chucky, and Christopher touch down in a purple land with highly intelligent K-hoppers. Now they must survive this strange and dangerous world, find their friends and family, and figure out a way to get back. Okay. All right. I have two. I do not know why I left that out. Let me see if I can find these two. Harlequin Presents. And alright. I can't even pronounce that, so just it's Marakaios Marriage. 4.5 stars. Kate Hewitt. Still heartbroken and angry over his wife's desertion, Antonius Marcaris must bring Lydia Douglas back to Greece for the sake of his terminally ill mother. Ignored and defenseless against Antonio's intimidating family, Lindsay felt she had no choice but to leave the heartless husband she loved deeply and the country she barely knew. Returning now at his behest while pretending all is well terrifies her. Hewitt's emotional roller coaster of romance is about a joyful reunion, painful goodbyes, and about the debilitating power of secrets. And Harlequin Special Edition. My Spare Fortune. Nancy Robards Thompson. Caitlin Moore drops her animal research and rushes to Horseback Hollow, Texas to open her father's amusement park, and he falls ill. Imagine her surprise when she comes face to face with Britt, who blew her mind during her first ever come out night. It's against Brody Fortune Hayes' policy to sleep with clients. So who would have guessed that Caitlin would simply employ his firm, forcing them to work together? Sneaky, 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 sneaky. All right, now, ups, just dropped my magazine. I still don't understand why I put that other book out here. But anyways, oh, forgot a romance. Let me just go back and do this. Ever After at Sweetheart Ranch. 4.5 stars. Kane's sixth visit to Valentine Valley results in a thoroughly charming tale of secret loves, hidden scars, and new beginnings. Her heroine's strength and personal resolve are admirable, and Kane plumbs for her hero's psychic expertly. Big things are suddenly happening for the math teacher Lindsay DeLuca. Not only has she secretly published her first romance novel, but she's also started dating rancher Will Sweet. Now she can just keep him from finding out how much of her resemblance fictional hero bows to Will himself. Will lost his high school sweetheart in a tragic accident and has carried the weight of his guilt ever since. As a result, he refuses to commit to any long term relationship, especially with Lindsay, who sees far too easily all the fears and flaws he has hidden. Okay. And let me just. I don't know where I took the bag. So, there's a big story in this magazine. Um, sorry. I keep forgetting. Uh, Miss Rice, are you a vampire lover? Are you a vampire lover? Have you read Lestat? We've done all those books too. We've done all those the Anne Rice books long time ago. Um, so she talks about this series, and apparently there's another book. I had no knowledge that there was another book in this series. I just thought it was the three, and um, Beauty's Kingdom, but so it's a trilogy. When I originally published the Sleeping Beauty trilogy, erotic writing was no longer in style. Really, the sexual revolution had gone somewhat dormant. And then later on, about 10, 15 years later, it came back with a vengeance. And her book started taking off. So why did she write? Anne Rice is known as the queen of modern vampire tales, but that's not the only genre she ever reigns over. Before 50 Shades of Grey, there was Beauty. Writing under the pseudonym A.N.R.O. It's ROQUELAURE. For creative freedom, just as the forefront of the vampire trend in publishing, Rice was well ahead of her time when it came to publishing books that make you blush. And they do. Huge, 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 big time. Um, if you're heavily, heavily, heavily into BDSM, these books are for you. Um, in the traditional folktale of Sleeping Beauty, she'll cast a spell upon the lovely young prince, and everyone in her castle can only be broken by the kiss of a prince. It's an ancient story, one that originally emerged from and still disturbs the minds unconscious. Now, Anne Rice's retelling of Beauty story probes the unspoken implications of this less suggestive tale by exploring undeniable connection to sexual desire. Here the prince awakens Beauty not with a kiss, but with a sexual initiation. His reward for ending the 100 years of enchantment is Beauty's complete and total enslavement. And what he does in these... Oh, there's another one out there. I forgot about that. I should have wrote that down. Is Exit to Eden. And if they made a movie, if they had played it straight, it might have worked. But they went to play it silly. That thing flops 6 ways to Sunday. But there you go. There's my embarrassing book. Beauty. And that is the end of Flashback Monday for May 2015. Have a good one.